Good morning. I will take you to my personal and professional journey on working on organizations. I myself have been developing a passion over the few decades on people, organizations, and transformation. That is not only a passion, but that's 24/7. That's 365 days a year, and the rest of my life. So it's almost a virus. And from that interest that I have, also as an organizational psychologist, I've been working in HR roles over the past decades and trying to figure out what is working and not working in organizations, and why do we often struggle, and what can we do better. And that's probably a journey that will go past my own life, but I will try to explain a bit on my experiences as also practical experiences. So the title of my presentation is Successful Organization Transformation and the Human Perspective. So I'm trying to look for it from the human center approach. I got a tagline, which you will see in every slide, and that's what I'm currently using over the past experiences that I have in different companies, is keep focus and dare to adapt. In that sense, that is a line that sticks to me, because planning is okay, but you dare to adapt, or you have to adapt within transformation, certainly if they are longer than 3, 6, 9 months, and they probably are, certainly in our case. I will introduce you a bit to my company where I work for currently. I'll give you some information on the strategic house I'm sort of developing myself in putting the practice to the experience to writing. I will also go through some theory with you, which I'm really connecting to. I will explain a bit later. And then give you some focus. This is the 15 minutes that I'll use to make you curious for the roundtable discussion. Of course, I'm not going to put everything on the table in these 15 minutes, but on HR business strategy, on leadership, on employee behavior and culture, and a future fit HR function, and give you some leads there, and hopefully that we can discuss that in the roundtable. I have already 2 questions, which will also at the end be certainly for me important to address in the roundtable, and where I need your input and feedback on. And I'll read them to you now, so that you remind them and maybe think about it, and hopefully in joining me, give me some extra input on that. The first question I have really puzzles me: how to measure all the activities we do, the progress on leadership development and behavioral change. Is it possible to measure that? And so, if so, how can you measure the development on leadership and behavioral change? Secondly, the question I'm interested to hear your feedback on is: how can management and HR, and I'm I'm a manager myself, I have a team of 9 people, how can management and HR connect to the emotional journey of the employee? I'll come back to that also a bit further in the presentation. There is an emotional journey. We all go through that in the organization, certainly in transformation processes. What is that emotional journey, and in what way can a manager or HR connect to that? Keep these in mind. They'll come back in the last slides. As for my organization, in short, it's an organization that does the administration and communication for pension funds in the Netherlands. Are there Dutch people? Yeah, I think there's a few maybe had that there. In the Netherlands, there's a big change going on in the pension world. It's a law, and that's a law they have politicians have discussed that over 15 years, and now it's a law. And by January 1st, 2028, there should be a new pension system based on more transparency, more personal, more real-time, online, etc. So that from 2028 onwards, I myself as a participant, and we have around 10 to 11 million participants in the pension system, meaning people that have are retired, but also people that are on their way to retirement. Side note, I have no intention to retire ever in my life. That's a bit crazy if you work in such an organization, because I love my job, and why change that in the coming decades? Hope to do this until I'm 93. Then I'll check my physical and mental condition, and let's see what we can do for the rest of the remaining years. But there is changes. It's an important system, and we are in the middle of transferring the whole pension market to that system. I use the word system because there's a lot more involved than only a system. There's the participants involved, the pension funds, the authorities are involved, because it's 1,400 billion euros which are connected to this pension system, and we have to transform it. And you can imagine you have to do that very carefully, because it's the money that's put in by all people working and the people that are retired. And that's a very, very delicate transformation. Well, as for, we are part of AZL, as part of a national NN group, an insurance company. So we also have a larger corporate organization, which is helpful in these transitions to tap into. In my company, we have around 700 people working there. I'm the HR director, responsible for everything which has to deal with the HR topics at large. So collective labor agreement, getting in people, talent management until the last day that people work with us, and everything in between that. Very challenging, but also very beautiful job and role to do. As for the model that I mentioned, let's see what I didn't forget anything here. No, it's okay. As for the model that I've been designing in my head and ultimately putting it to paper, we'll not go through all the elements. You can see that in the presentation, but for me, very key to the strategic agenda for the future, and that's starting today, is what are the trends? I mean, we've heard a lot, artificial intelligence, but what is it going to mean for functions, for people, as well, professional, but also personal. But also, we had some presentation on that, mental well-being. It's a big issue in the world, and also in the Netherlands. So how is that working? What can we do and work with that theme? So there's a lot of trends going on, and you have to incorporate that in your model. Open the windows. I'm really fan of HR outside in. So start with the real customer of your company. Also as HR, I'm in regular contact with the customers of AZL to see how they experience our people. Because if you get the customer feedback, then you can maybe adjust your agenda on what should be needed to do a better job there. But the other part is to connect it to the business strategy. If I only choose companies where there's a clear definition that the people are part of the business strategy, and it should be written down. It should be in the DNA of the CEO starting. So the only conversation I need to have is a 1 hour with the CEO, and if that breathes people and culture, but also, of course, performance, money, etc., but also people and culture, then I'm on board. Very simple. So 1 hour and you get me on board. Unless it's of course not real, then it's only a statement made because it's normal to say that. But then employee behavior and culture, leadership are crucial. Of course, also elements that come more closely to the HR agenda, organizational structure, restructuring, but also strategic planning, personnel planning, and development of your people. Those are very important elements in building an HR strategy. And last but not least, change management and communication is very crucial. I also added communication. Because HR people are not, I don't want to offend you, but are not very strong in communicating. They are strong in communicating what they think is needed, but they are never strong in communicating what's needed by the people and translate that in the HR agenda. I blame myself for that, so in that sense, don't see it as something which I put upon you. Of course, there is a business and a customer impact. That is something that you have to take into account. And there's an employee impact. And then last but not least, and that was my point of what I made earlier. What are the KPIs? How to measure it? I get the signal. I'll speed up. As for the theory, I got connected with EY, which are conducting at this moment for a few years with London Business University study on successful transformations and why do they go wrong? What is the reason why transformations are not working, and how can you try to avoid that? That has different elements in it. One is the 6 crucial elements for successful transformations, and they've written it down in articles. I can send you the link to these articles on the EY website, which is, let's say, open and you can visit that. Of course, inspire, care, meaning that people need a safe environment to speak up. If that's not the case, then you miss out signals of your employees. Build is more make the change visible. That's also on the system side, but not only in the processes, but also make the change visible in the organization. And then empower, lead, and last but not least, collaborate, connect or cooperate and co-create. There's 2 elements that are connected to this. One, as I mentioned, the emotional journey that people go through. And in this emotional journey, it's about expectations. It's about this, in what I said, the strategy, but it's also about tapping into what were the expectations of the employee, and in what way can you connect to that. That was also related to my question. So how can you experience where the people are as well in a team, but also on an individual basis. And what is then the role of management, who also go through this emotional journey, and what's the role of what is the situation of the employee, the person themselves. And in every transformation is turning points, and turning points are often the difficulties that you experience. Plans are not working according to what has been estimated, and then there is a big chance that the transformation will go into a negative situation, but it's also an opportunity. And I can bring a bit more to the table of that, identifying turning points, because they are sometimes complex. The most important signal on a turning point is the emotional state of the employee. The moment you experience there's something happening, but you have to sense that, then you have to be very aware. And that's a great opportunity for management to also see how you together, not in me, but we, can turn that turning point around. As for the focus areas that I already stated out, so the clear business strategy that has to do with purpose, that has to do with connection of the HR agenda to the business strategy. If not, it's not working. On leadership, a few statements, very important. I try to ignore that a bit more in my early career days, but the CEO, the person in charge, has an important role in inspiring, energizing, setting the pace for the organization. I sometimes, as said, neglected that a bit, but it is important. I've seen changes, and that immediately changed the way that the organization was working. So that's interesting, and that of course has to be built by management, by ultimately every employee. On employee behavior and culture, as said, it is a communication. Culture, I sometimes use I don't know whether you have heard about or read about that. Cameron and Quinn have a cultural framework, which is 4 dimensions: family, culture, hierarchy, adhocracy, which more innovative culture, and market culture. And if you can measure that, it's sort of a diagram that you can make out of that by questionnaires you send out to people and have the discussions on that. And in that way you can, for instance, my current organization has family and hierarchy as strong cultural elements, and we need to go more to a market culture. And in that sense, you get a direction of what should you install on leadership, on employees to get there, because they have been working on that. And on the HR function, I think there's a strong change coming anyhow in the function as well, also based on AI. So we probably have to facilitate more, coach more, as also stated in some earlier presentations. And that means that we have to think about the added value of the HR function, but also how to organize it. You saw the cycle, that probably will stay the same, but the way we tap into that cycle and create extra value from our HR function is at stake at this moment. So we have to really work on that for the future. And the roles will change, and the responsibility will change too. As for the questions, there they are again. So I hope you kept it in mind for my first slide where I put that on the table. How to measure progress on leadership development and behavioral change. I have not figured that out. How can management and HR connect on the emotional journey of the employee? Also something which is puzzling me. Is that walk the talk? Is that have employee surveys or whatever? I mean, I am looking forward to hear your comments on that. That's the end of my presentation. Keep focus, dare to adapt. That is the tagline that I'll use every day in my work. Stay connected to your employees. Focus and adapt and connect with your customer, the real customer of the company, your colleagues and partners. That's, for me, closing statements. And for more information, I must say it's in Dutch. Some articles, probably English books will come soon. But you can always contact me, of course, for further discussion. Thank you very much.